When was the last time you were scared of something and leaned into it? Was it doing this book deal?
Yeah, I think the book deal was the last time where I was like really scared. Oh, actually no. So since the book deal, there's been one other thing. The book deal was one. It was like, all the fears around who the hell is going to read a book about productivity? Hasn't that already been done before? Who would care what I have to say about productivity? I just kind of got lucky with the YouTube thing, and I want to write about productivity that means something, and like meaningful productivity, and like who the hell would listen to a 26-year-old talk about meaning of life? Like people have been trying to figure. So that was all of the stuff that was going through my head as I was deciding, weighing up whether to say yes to this book. But then I just sort of thought that I had a conversation with my housemate, and she said that don't you always say that you should just lean into the things you're scared of? And don't you always say, would you regret doing this or would you regret not doing this? And I thought, well, I'm only going to regret not doing it. I probably wouldn't regret actually writing a book. So that's why that happened. But then since then, I've done another thing that I felt really scared about, and that was starting a live online course. So I've got this live online course called the Part-Time YouTuber Academy, which is now a 6-week course where, we take a few hundred students and we charge them lots of money for it. And we sort of take them through like a program to become part-time YouTubers. And initially I was thinking that I would just create a standard online course, the evergreen self-paced. I just recorded, about 100 videos about it. My editor would edit them and we'd chuck it on Skillshare or on my own website for like $100. And then I was chatting to Tiago Forte and David Perel, who run the courses Building a Second Brain and Rite of Passage. And they were saying that, look, man, you've got to get away from this small thinking mentality of charging $100 for a course. Like, only 2% of people complete a self-paced online course. And do you care, like, do you really care about transformation for the people who watch your stuff? And I was like, yes, I do. And they were like, well, if you really care about transformation, you have to do it live and you have to charge decent money for it because otherwise people won't take it seriously. And that felt really scary. Like I'd never really sold anything before, let alone something at like $1,000 to $5,000 price point. And I was like, you know what, this feels really scary, but that's another case when leaning into the fear is helpful. And so we ran our first cohort in November of 2020, and that had about 400 students, and everyone, or rather most people, loved it. And we've just sold out of our second cohort. We opened the cart earlier this week, and within 4 hours, we'd sold out of all our spots. And yeah, this course has now generated about $800,000 in revenue just off the back of this conversation with Tiago and David, who were like, mate, you've got to do this as a live course. So yeah, leaning into the fear really helps.